This is what happens whenever you ask a transgender activist to explain even the basic premise of the movement, is they'll immediately say, well, who cares? Why are you so obsessed with this? I'm not obsessed with this. I'm not the one who started sending men into the women's bathroom and taking away their trophies and castrating kids. I'm perfectly happy with the way things have worked for thousands of years. It is the transgender activists who are trying to upend everything. And so I think it is at least my right to ask the question, okay, what is the premise of your movement? But they always deflect from that. They always withdraw from the debate. They always try to change the subject because there is no answer. So you ask me, well, what's the purpose of, why do you even care? What's the purpose of knowing someone's biological sex? Well, for starters, because we have civil rights specifically for women in the United States. We have special bathrooms for women. We have special sports leagues for women. We have all sorts of special places and rights and privileges and that are for women that are not for men. So if now some men, people who at the very least appear to be men, are claiming a right to go into those women's bathrooms, then we either have to abolish all of the special rights and privileges that have existed for women for all of human history and are enshrined in our law, or they need to explain to me how those men are actually women. And they can't do the latter, and I'm not willing to do the former, and I don't think women across this country are willing to do the former, even if a few people have been so ideologically blinded that they would give in to this kind of an absurdity.
Oh, good. I feel like I need to quote Jordan Peterson here. Not beautiful. It's sad because so many young women are preyed upon and are taught that, their femininity is wrong. And in order to be successful, they have to be so masculine and literally destroy their bodies. You don't. That is an utter lie. Ian Chiang replied and said, there's a Brazilian account that does comparisons of students before and after they entered college. That is horrifying.
Why on earth would any sensible man want to be with a woke woman who'd willingly date someone labeling him an oppressor? These woke individuals incessantly critique your opinions, burst into tears if you challenge their narrative, avoid basic grooming, and dye their hair in bizarre colors. Some may earn decent money, but most struggle with impractical degrees, expecting you to subsidize their endless plans while being branded an oppressor. Utter nonsense. This woke agenda is rendering many women single in the relationship realm. Men are done taking chances with these types. Anything resembling social justice warrior, SJW ideals? Count us out. Men dominating female sports? Well, you asked for equality and now you've got it. Men identifying as women for restroom access, sports domination, and undeserved privileges. They're playing the woke game, and it's causing a pandemic of absurdity. This culture is composed of loud, arrogant, and foolish people who think they know better but possess the mentality of teenagers and the maturity of children. Perpetually angry and offended by anything outside their ever-changing standards of correctness, they embark on witch hunts to destroy the lives of anyone deemed an ist or phobe. They even eat their own if the rules change suddenly. Labeling anyone who disagrees as a right-wing terrorist, a fascist, or a Trump supporter is their favorite pastime, regardless of actual political affiliations. They've been trained to hate America, blindly swallowing the lies of critical race theory and the 1619 Project instead of exploring pre-2016 history books for the truth. Their eagerness to get back at evil Whitey overlooks real history, and they remain oblivious to being manipulated as pawns. They claim to be on the right side of history while following the same patterns as those who supported the Nazi Party, all while hypocritically labeling others as such.
Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Cis men don't menstruate, but trans men do menstruate.
No,
Same
they
as
don't.
non-binary people.
Only women.
Menstruating is not exclusive
Yes,
to
it
cis
is.
women. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So explain to me as to why my body menstruated at
if
some
your
point
chromosomes are XX and you're young, you menstruate. If you're XY, you don't.
Correct, but what about trans men and non-binary?
They're
We're
not
excluding
men.
a whole group of people
They're women
that
dressed
menstruate.
as men.
Well, what's a man to you? You define a man for me.
You have chromosomes that are X and Y. That's what a man is.
So why are we just looking at the science of this as an
The
example
science.
when we've learned sex and gender identity are they're completely different things?
They're not completely
They
different
are
things.
completely different.
Completely different words.
Sex is what you're born with, the sexual reproductive organs you have. Gender is what you identify with. They're completely
Well, I don't
different
accept that
things.
distinction. You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up.
Those in Hollywood churning out lousy, so-called diverse and anti-American films think they're pandering to oppressed groups. In reality, these films infuriate over half of America, leading to outsourcing to countries desperate for any entertainment. Some politicians turn a blind eye to crimes by certain groups while vilifying law-abiding citizens who voted for the wrong guy. Media talking heads abandon real news for propaganda, aligning themselves with a single political party. Those pushing for internet censorship disregard the freedom of speech, with the NSA spying on innocent Americans and using decade-old social media posts as grounds to ruin lives later. Double standards abound as some groups are censored, canceled, or humiliated for offensive remarks, while others from the right group get a pass for similar or even more extreme behavior. These individuals, knowingly or unknowingly, have become China's puppets. Woke culture is far from a positive force. It's the monstrous offspring of political correctness on steroids. In my honest opinion, these individuals haven't awakened to anything. If anything, their eyes are shut tighter than ever. Woke culture functions as the contemporary secular fundamentalist religion of leftism, subtly succeeding by providing a socially acceptable means to mistreat the vulnerable, evade personal accountability, and indulge in narcissism. The term woke encapsulates a cluster of juvenile beliefs and attitudes meticulously instilled in individuals through the media. While its followers portray themselves as altruistic, compassionate, and intellectual, beneath the surface lies a lazy, pre-digested illusion of human equality that concentrates social power among the already fortunate. It supplies others with effective but fake, shallow, or misinterpreted issues like racism, sexism, environmentalism, Islamism, feminism, and socialism to feign passion about, serving as a way to cope with the pain and tragedy they cannot confront directly. The use of woke as an insult is entirely justified, given its adherents' obstinate refusal to question its often patently false principles. Personal interactions with these individuals often involve encounters with profound hostility, such as facing backlash for questioning the meaning of terms like zir, a non-gendered pronoun in the context of transsexuals, or encountering evasion and racist remarks when criticizing non-gendered bathrooms, with claims like, "People are more at risk of sexual predation by white men." Its negative connotation is further justified by the unwavering defense it receives from the modern media machine. BLM rioters are labeled as protesters. Anything diverging from the leftist party line is dismissed as a conspiracy theory, and nauseating themes of Mary Sue-style female empowerment saturate movies. In a discussion with friends, I felt compelled to outline the core beliefs and attitudes of wokeism. Wokeness, while conceptually understood, proves challenging to define. Key tenets include the belief that masculinity is inherently negative and requires re-education. Femininity is inherently positive and beyond judgment. Deviant sexuality is laudable and should be encouraged. Patriarchy conspiracy theories hold truth. White men owe minorities reparations and should feel guilty. Minorities deserve artificial advantages. The police are to be feared and hated, and capitalism is inherently bad. These are the main points, and while there are more, any attempts to argue against them are met with what I've seen as cheap dishonesty and sophism in numerous debates. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.